Welcome,
Thank you.
Karin. Thank you for being here. And what we are interested in is a little bit about your past, a little bit about your present, and quite a bit about your future, obviously. So tell us how, when you started writing, that the ideas come to you because you have these wonderful big ideas.
Well, the ideas don't just come to me, I acquire them by long, long hours of study. It I don't just write about ideas that have popped into my head.
Mhm.
Um, I usually, before I write a book, if it's a big book, I will take at least 2 years to research it before I even write a sentence.
Mhm.
So, so there's no kind of inspiration about it. It's hard work.
Yes.
I study all day, and I will be at my desk as if it were an ordinary job from 9 in the morning until 6 at night.
Yeah.
I work in the British Library, which is about a mile from my home, or else at home on my desk.
Hmm.
Uh,
It's quite disciplined.
yes, well, it's
Yeah.
a job.
Yes.
You know, and you have to spend all that time at it,
Hmm.
just as you do if you're in the office or, teaching in a school or
Hmm.
whatever.
Right.
And I love it. I do love study. That's the best bit of it for me.
Hmm.
The writing is very, very hard.
And you talk about how when you are writing, you imagine yourself in the place of your subject.
Not when I'm writing, when I'm researching. You have to be able to put aside your own preconceptions, the things you take for granted, living in the 21st century, living in modern times after the 18th century Enlightenment. Put all that to one side and im- imaginatively enter into the minds of the people you're writing about.
Hmm.
They may have existed 2,500 years ago,
Hmm.
but it's not just an essay in an attempt to fantasize. I study a lot about the period, that particular period, and will find out what the intellectual context was, what political life was like at that time, until I've got a sense of that person's world. And it's only by entering into that mindset, leaving yourself on the back burner, that you can really practice what the great uh, Islamist Louis Massignon called the science of compassion, a form of knowledge that comes by compassion, which means to feel with the other, to experience with the other, put yourself in the other person's
Hmm.
shoes, and um, uh, and as he said, to make room for the other in your mind.
Yeah, I make the parallel in that science of compassion, this idea of not being judgmental,
Mm.
which may sometimes be a typical method of academic writing
Yes.
of history. Um, so in the non-egoistic way of not judging, then there is a direct experience of being there, and henceforth comes, well, then writes the subject.
Yes, and uh, it's also that you're not projecting your
Mhm.
own ideas onto the person you're writing about.
Right.
And we often do that in real life too.
Yeah.
We'll see somebody acting in a certain way and we'll project our ideas onto why he or she is behaving in that manner. And we're often incorrect
Right.
because we don't know about the mystery of one another. And I think that one of the things I've learned from that is in social relations
Mhm.
to watch yourself just assuming that you know what's going on in somebody else's mind or somebody else's head.
Yeah, and that is so much of compassion.
Yes.
That's what compassion is so much about. Now, is this research and writing process itself, is it where you draw a lot of your spiritual.
Yes. For me, it's a form of meditation.
Yeah.
I'm no good at things like yoga or meditation. I was hopeless at it when I was a young nun. I couldn't do it at all. Maybe it was the wrong kind of meditation for me. But this, I can do. Now, there's a form of, it's quite common both in Judaism and Christianity, this. The monks in the Middle Ages used to call it Lectio Divina, which means divine study, where you immerse yourself in a sacred text, and you'll get moments of what the monks called oratio, or prayer, where your mind is lifted up and you just feel a sense of being enhanced. And similarly, my Jewish friends tell me that this is what Jews do. They don't talk to God in the way that Christians might do, but they study. And in the course of that, they get moments of wonder or delight. So it's a quite established form of spirituality, this form of meditation by study.
Yes. One of the things that I've discovered is that there are times where my mind can actually not wrap what I'm studying. Sometimes in Buddhism, there's the Buddhist cosmology. Sometimes it's so huge, it requires such stretching of my mind that I'm not able to wrap my mind around it. At that moment, there is a pause, and I wonder if that's something that is similar to what you're talking about, or you speak about it experientially?
Yes, I suppose that what I'll have are moments of absolute delight, because I'm reading some of the great thoughts of the world, and sometimes moments when everything comes together and you begin to see just a glimpse of something, as when you're listening to a beautiful piece of music and something can touch you in here and lift you above yourself. And it's just a sense of things fitting together, or yes, now I see. And then it goes away. And then you go back to your books.